Imagine for a second that every digital trace of your existence vanished. Your credit cards are pieces of useless plastic. Your banking app displays a cold, empty white screen. Your phone, the tether to your entire social and financial status, is dead. Most people think their greatest fear is losing their money. But the truth is much darker. Their greatest fear is losing the identity that money provides. We are currently living through a psychological experiment we didn't sign up for. We've been conditioned to believe that our value is tied to a digital ticker symbol, and because of that, our brains have entered a permanent state of survival mode. When you are in survival mode, you cannot build wealth. It is biologically impossible. When your brain perceives a threat, whether it's a tiger in the woods or a looming rent payment, it shuts down the prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain responsible for long-term planning, logic, and creativity. In other words, the exact tools you need to get rich are the first things your brain throws overboard when you're stressed about being poor. This is the scarcity trap. I spent 48 hours simulating a total financial blackout. No spending, no checking balances, no digital validation. I wanted to see what happens to the human ego when the scorecard is removed. What I found wasn't just a lesson in budgeting, it was a revelation about human hardware. Within the first 4 hours, the anxiety kicks in. It's a physical weight in your chest. You realize how many times a day you check your status to feel okay. Without that hits of dopamine, you feel exposed. This is where most people live their entire lives. They are constantly checking, constantly worrying, and therefore, constantly making short-term decisions. Short-term decisions are expensive. They are the reason you buy things you don't need to impress people you don't like. They are the reason you take the safe job instead of building the dream business. You aren't lazy. You're just stuck in a neurological loop. By hour 24, something strange happens. The noise starts to fade. When you accept that the safety net is gone, your brain finally stops screaming, danger, and starts asking, how? This is the shift from scarcity to agency. True wealth isn't what you have in the bank. True wealth is the set of skills and the mental resilience you have left when the bank is gone. If you took everything away from a self-made millionaire, they would be wealthy again in a year because they don't have a poor nervous system. They've trained their brains to stay in the prefrontal cortex even when the world is burning. Most of us are walking around with financial PTSD. We make moves based on the trauma of not having enough in the past, rather than the opportunity of having more in the future. We treat money like oxygen, we only notice it when it's gone, and when we have it, we're terrified of exhaling. But look at the world around you. The systems we rely on are fragile. The only thing that isn't fragile is your ability to solve problems. If you want to change your bank account, you have to first change your baseline. You have to stop reacting to the numbers and start responding to the value you provide. The secret the top 1% won't tell you is that they stopped looking at the score a long time ago. They focused on the game. They realized that money is just a byproduct of a regulated nervous system and a clear strategy. If you can stay calm while everyone else is panicking, you win. If you can think 10 years ahead while everyone else is thinking 10 minutes ahead, you win. The blackout ended, and the numbers returned to my screen. But they felt different. They didn't feel like me anymore. They felt like fuel, tools for a mission, rather than a mask for my insecurities. You are not your debt. You are not your salary. You are the architect of the system that creates those things. Once you realize that poverty is happening inside your head first, you can finally begin the work of becoming truly, unshakably rich. Stop surviving. Start building.